This is more about life in the time of the coronavirus epidemic. Arrests are now in the hundreds, and they continue for the rampage. For the racial riots in various cities where there was looting and arson, those people were called freedom fighters. They were seeking social justice. Money was raised to get them out of jail, and several cities allowed them to occupy sections of the downtown, including police stations. Now, D.C. and some state capitals remain on high alert, seeking to avoid further rampages. One rampage, they figure, was more than enough. The PM is not even in office, and he's already proposing an American relief bill, more assistance from the government. It will cost about $2 trillion, but that's no problem because we're printing money, and that enables us to spend what we don't really have. We call that the American way. And debt is not something we think about. Half of that money, about $1 trillion, will go to promote the aggressive distribution of vaccines. 100 million doses in 100 days is the slogan, as well as much more available testing. The other half, another $1 trillion, is supposed to help the economy. The PM is going to extend unemployment benefits for just about the rest of the year. So the people who are being paid to do nothing, you're good to go. Also, the minimum wage will be raised to $15 an hour. Seriously, that will be the new minimum wage, $15 an hour. Most economists predict that will mean that a lot of people who would be earning that now will lose their jobs instead. Employers will switch over to automation. But hey, if they do lose their jobs, well, we've got those unemployment benefits in place, so they are fine whether they're working or not. No wonder people want to immigrate to America. We used to say, it's a free country. Now, it really is. Everything is free. Is that beautiful or not? If these things are established, as they almost surely will be, since the dummy craps are running the show, what will happen is that the wonderful balloon that is the American economy will grow much larger, and that will continue until it bursts, as it must. Exactly when this will happen is not known, but it will at some point, and that point is known as all hell breaks loose. And then the PM can try to rig up a patch or something, another American relief bill, but there will be no relief. We will call that purple haze. Love, not money, is important in times like this. It can act as a refuge. It can supply some bit of relief. When I think about it, a rose really is a near-perfect symbol for love, with its beautiful, sweet-smelling flower and all those thorns. My state is beginning to offer vaccines to the general population, starting this week with people over 80. The field mouse was boasting on the airwaves about a woman 100 years old getting a shot. They call this policy giving the vaccine to those who need it the most. I call it poppycock. If I was in charge, I'd start with people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 20s, teens, children, and then 70s and 80s plus. And, just by the way, if I had to draft people to fight in a war, I'd take both men and women, starting with those over 100 years old, and I'd work my way down, sending those who have lived their lives sparing the younger ones. See how that works out. It's the Colonel's last day as the Senate Majority Leader. He makes a speech deploring the trumpet and the terrible things he did, inciting that mob to riot. He makes sure that everyone knows he thinks the trumpet is a bad, bad man. Other Republicans will follow this lead, eager to scrape the trumpet mud off their shoes, to separate themselves as far as they can from the awful tar baby. The PM is about to enter D.C., which is nearly deserted except for 25,000 National Guard troops and a lot of fences. This is not to protect the 10 or a dozen people at the inauguration ceremony. It's to keep everyone else out, the very pinnacle of democracy. Listen, as the PM calls for unity. That will be virtual unity, remote unity. That's as close to unity as we're going to get.